Hello, anybody hear me there? Uh,
I can hear you, Alan, but I can't hear Ron.
yeah, his it looks like his microphone is muted.
It was very good. Yeah. Yeah, I do that. Which is. She put it down and yes. Okay, I didn't. Yeah. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I got He's given me instructions and I think so you know.
If I'm muted, how are they gonna hear? I can't even spell. Oh,
Everything is set up on microphones, so you don't have to worry about this.
use microphones or making of the whole room. So, I'm just not talking needs to. Well,
Trevor, do you want to just pull your board for a second and show people what the camera looks like on the screen too, so they can know that? I was
Yeah.
it should be just right here.
yeah, if I do that, then just,
Okay.
I think so.
But maybe you consider.
Yeah. David, can you please? David, can you please turn on your mute?
I don't hard to understand you, Ron.
David, can you please turn on your mute?
Can't understand you.
Hey, David, turn on your mute.
David, can you hear me? This is Margaret.
I can hear Margaret.
And so he's asking me to turn off your mute. I have a microphone right next to me. What you lucky.
David, Scott, turn on your mute.
You,
Thank you.
you mean mute their microphones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. One there's two. Okay.
So what we can do is just call the meeting to order. And
I'm here.
what are you?
I'm hearing myself and it's just drowning it out.
Okay. It's he's hearing it in his hearing aids.
Oh. This way I don't hear anything, but at least I can talk.
Oh.
This stuff goes directly to my hearing aid.
Oh.
So from your tablet. 2023. If I do this. Now try. Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
That's better. I didn't know. So the April 4th, 2023 meeting of 750 Plus Advisory Commission. It's a little tricky to know who's here and who's there and who's not. I have 7 commission members here, so we'll get started.
Ron?
Calling them, please.
Ron, this is Alan Scott. I'm with David. It's completely garbled. I didn't know anything that you just said. I think you called the meeting to order, but I didn't clearly hear that.
Same here. I can hear Alan very well, but I can't hear you.
Maybe David and I can just have a little side meeting while you guys are talking.
So if I call, I wonder if they can hear me do the roll. Alan Scott is here for sure. Okay, so I'll do the roll and see how that works. Alan Scott,
Here,
Elise Lipnick, coming later. Annie Batey here. Bonnie McGregor here. David Haber.
He raised his hand on
Okay. John Hughes. Maybe later. Julie.
oh, actually, they're trying to join the meeting
Okay.
at this moment. He is it.
John. Great, he's in. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
And Julie Ledke is excused. Karen Oliver, excused. Linda Schellenberg here. Margaret Manukian here. Ron Bell. Here. Got her.
I'm here somewhere.
That's everything.
Okay, so what's the count?
8.
8, okay, fine, we do have a quorum, okay. Everybody here should have received one way or another, copy of the agenda for today's meeting. The minutes of last month's meeting. Are there any changes to the first of all, the minutes of last month's meeting? Corrections. To accept the minutes for the March meeting. And the second, and that's Annie seconding it. Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, unanimously approved. Okay, do we have anybody from public? There's a lot of people here.
We have staff, but we also have City Councilor Stapleton with us today.
Hi.
Thanks for letting me join.
Okay, we'll pick up our visitors as the agenda shows us. All right, a motion please to accept the agenda as the agenda we will follow. Thank you, Annie. And a second. Okay, thank you, Margaret. Got it. Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. Hey, any opposed? Unanimously approved. Okay. Public comment. And we are nothing. Okay, no public comment. All right. This session is mainly dedicated to be a communications listening session. We're trying to and is okay. It's sort of a learning thing too for us. And we're trying to keep the feedback down as low as possible. Okay. Communications listening session. Who is hosting that?
Well, I will
Okay.
introduce our staff that's here with us today. Just kind of a brief lead in. Two of our action items on our age-friendly work this year. One was transportation, improving senior mobility and utilizing the resources we have in our community to help people walk around or make movement from point A to point B if they do not have a personal car. So that is one of the age-friendly tasks. But the other very large age-friendly task was under the category of communication. And it was brought forward as a discussion point on several advisory commission meetings about how do we model good behavior for age-friendly communication? And for us to understand what modeling good communication tools are, we kind of need to look at what we're currently doing here at Center 50 Plus and address that. Well, we're a part of a much larger organization, and so I invited Courtney from the City of Salem communication team and the city manager's office to discuss, kind of let us know what's happening with the community and lead us in a conversation so that you can share your thoughts and we can get that dialogue going. Does that sound like how we remember it? And okay, so let me introduce Courtney. Thank you, Courtney. And we have Trevor Smith, our PIO from Public Works as well, in the communication team. And we're very fortunate. We have Councilor Stapleton with us. So we really have the ears today. So good for us.
So thank you. And hi, everybody. My name is Courtney Knox Bush, and I work in the mayor and city manager's office. I've been with the city for 18 years, and I first met Marilyn when we did this together. So it's been a long time. And every time I come in here, I see where the potties are. In my mind, I have it on that. So what I wanted to do today was mostly listen to you. And so I have a couple of prompting questions just to ask and get some feedback about how we could do a better job. I'll tell you also that citywide, we're doing what we call an engagement and communications plan. And we're working with a consultant who is really doing this stuff. And they're helping us think about how to get better. And thinking about engagement. So how do we help people feel welcome and so they can contribute their ideas to decision making that we're doing every day? And how do we better share out all of the stuff that's going on? Because my goodness, there's a lot. There is a lot going on. Sitting here today, we have two big things tomorrow. We have a work opening, the Quinn Hall housing project. It's going to be 52 units. And that's a great reuse of the old nursing quarters of the state hospital. That's really cool. That's at 1 o'clock tomorrow. But we're also going to have online tours. So you know, if you miss it, it's not bad. And then tomorrow evening, the city council is talking about revenue and how we might need more to continue doing the things that you enjoy in our community. So there's a lot going on, and that's just a little slice. And you probably wouldn't, which is the point of today's conversation. How can we do better? So because you guys already meet, we thought this would be a great way to hear from you about what we could do better. And there are no right answers. We're all starting with the premise that we could be better. So as long as you believe that, we're all good to go. And so our consultants are doing these conversations around town. And so I thought I would just be them today, if that's okay with you. I used to do this for a living, but it's changed a lot. So I'm going to use their questions. I think we have about 30 minutes. And so I'm going to be mindful of our time. I might move us on if we get a little stuck, just so we can talk about all things, if that's okay. And so the first question is really, really broad. Please kind of follow your traditional sort of strengths and weaknesses and opportunities for moving forward. If you've ever been in a conversation like this, it's going to feel very much the same. But the first question is really, if you can think about what you're good at right now, in communications and engagement? What does it feel like we're really good at right now? And I'm gonna just take some broad notes on the white pages on the wall, but what are we really good at? What comes to mind?
I think we're very good at, welcoming people into the center when they come in the door
Okay,
and finding out where they're going and, help them get there if they need help.
okay. Thank you. Yes.
We are very good at having resources available.
Anybody online? Ron and.
Okay, one of the things we're doing good is the staff here is always willing to help you in any way. So find resources or find something on the webpage or any of those.
Okay.
We have so many activities available for people here that they're welcome to join in, and then that way they make lifelong friends. And maybe we'll be lucky enough to get a volunteer out of them.
I like this hybrid meeting. I don't have a car this morning, so this is the only way I can attend, and so far it's working pretty well.
So were you commenting on having technology access to things that you can't come to in person?
Yes.
Thank you. You could have there are many answers, but only in often.
Extremely helpful when we do have an idea to make it come to can't think of the word, fruition. They're open to ideas.
Mhm. Can you think of anybody else that might not be here and what you hear them tell you? Can you think of people that you might have dinner with or you might visit with, echo some of their ideas too?
They come here because they're very lonely usually, especially at lunchtime. Going to the Meals on Wheels program, they're always hoping to sit with somebody that will talk to them.
I think one thing that we do well, that Center 50 Plus does really well is community partnerships. And, you know, I'm from Western Oregon University, I can think of 4 right off the top of my head. But I also, there are programs here that the staff has worked really hard, Maryland's worked really hard to connect with other community organizations to just bring programs here and such.
Can you guys think about city stuff? Does that ever enter your, you know, we're talking about Center 50 Plus and what Center 50 Plus is doing now in terms of communicating and getting news out and connecting people who do come. Can you think of any like larger things, like the bigger city as an organization? Was it surprising to you that we're opening New Quina Hall? Was it surprising to you that we're talking about revenue? Do you have any ideas about other city stuff that you might be aware of or things that might be going well in that arena? Mostly it sounds like we're doing really well when you come here. Okay. I see a board. And I am one with the board. So, The second, the following question was really kind of when we're making an impact. And it sounds like mostly when we're making an impact is when people are here. Okay.
I will add, can I add something?
Yeah.
Okay. From the city perspective, like I know from the opening of the line and across the street, the veterans housing and efforts to provide housing in the city for people who are low income and for particularly for older adults who are limited incomes. I think that I'm seeing action in that area, and I think that relates to some of the purpose of Center 50 Plus as well, obviously, for serving an older population.
Can I ask how you're accessing that information?
Well, that's a good question. In part through Maryland, in part through being in the community. When they opened the Y, I'm part of Salem for Refugees, and I brought a refugee family to the Y. That's when I learned about the veterans housing across the street. I ran into Peter Courtney, talked to him for a few minutes. I moved to Salem, and so I'm fairly new in Salem, about a year and a half now. So, and some of that is also in the Statesman Journal.
But primarily, really, I'm hearing you say through word of mouth with word relationship.
Relationship. Who's the name walking around? What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. We in 2016, last time we thought about these kinds of things, that was what we heard, was word of mouth was the best way that people were hearing about things, because it's really who you trust, right? Where you get most of your news. So we were trying to do everything. The last couple of years, we've been trying to do everything. Talk all the different channels, trying to raise word of mouth, because we never know who might be a mouth that might start talking. And that works, but it's also exhausting, isn't it? Yeah. So we're
what?
it's also exhausting.
Exhausted.
Yeah. I mean, you need that, right? I've known Kenny for a long time too, but anyway, it's exhausting, and so we're trying to figure out if there's a better way. So that's how this conversation is benefiting us. So the next question is, this is about, it's okay to say bad things, okay? So this one is about, where do we really struggle? Where are we kind of missing the boat? If you think about communications and engagement, where are we really struggling to accomplish what we're trying to do? Yeah, go ahead.
I would say that it's important to let people know about Salem Community Connection, since once a week they're on highlight of what's going on or has gone on in the city. And maybe a campaign to help people know it's there. But the other comment that goes with that is, I have noticed that the title of the email that comes out on, then there's nothing in the email about what the title was.
So we could, sometimes the title doesn't match the news.
Right. And if you use the same words that you use in the title to highlight whatever it is in that communication, then it makes it easy to just, oh, there it is. And I know you like to do, everybody likes to do titles that will get someone to open the email. But beyond that, then what you promised in the subject needs to be in the body of the email.
Okay, good, think of that. What other places where we maybe have missing mark?
This is in regard to all ages.
This is anything you want to share. I'm particularly curious about you from what you said, but I'm taking any feedback today.
Well, I have lived in Salem for 40 years, and when we first came out south, we had an ice skating rink, we had a bowling alley, and now we no longer have that. And there's really, the roller rink is gone. We don't have anything for the kids, or even older adults to do. It would be nice to have something. rather than having to go to Portland or other places like that to get it. Okay. I'm just gonna put a couple specifics to help me later when I'm trying to remember. Okay. What other kinds of things, and if you're thinking about how we're engaging you or not, what's missing? How we're communicating with you or not, what's missing? You can also echo something that you heard from other people. You know, you can say, well, my friend said. That's fine. Yeah, go ahead, Annie.
The website needs to have a goal of being one click and maybe two. But when, and I'm not talking about Center 50 Plus. Once you figure out how to get to the Center 50 Plus page, it's really good. The example, the other day I thought, so I wonder who's public works director now that Peter's retired. Nowhere could I find that. So I finally, I dropped something at City Hall. I did that and find it.
So part of what you're doing is you're relying on who you know.
That's
To
right.
get the information that you want.
Well, if I can't find it, and I think people, I know I get frustrated that if I can't do it, if I've searched around and searched around for 5 minutes, that's enough of my life that I've given up trying to find something on a web page. Then it's time to interact with a person that can point me to the right place in the web page or give me information.
But she has computer skills. Right. A lot of people don't even engage in a computer or have a cell phone. Then what do you do?
Okay,
Add to that, a lot of things have a QR code. There's no good for anybody who doesn't have a computer or a cell phone. And sometimes it doesn't do you any good if you have a computer.
I see Ron and then I see Ronnie. Ron?
Yeah, if we're structuring the communications plan, it may be helpful to look at it with two prongs. Those that come to us for information and those that don't, that will have to reach out to in a different way than those that come to us.
Thank you, Ron. Anything else there?
We have a long list of people that are members here. And what I mean is members is they pay $15 a month or $15 a year and they get their little card so they could scan in. Well, a lot of them in their information, they don't give us an email address. So the only way to contact them is try to phone them or to send them mail. And a lot of times we can't connect with the phone and their mail comes back. So there we have no longer a way to connect.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ronnie, I saw you. Do you want to jump in?
Well, I just have a kind of a wild idea that I saw one of my favorite shows, and it ties in with our generations through Dinner with Generations, but it was connecting. This one town connects with the high schools and gets volunteer techies to come in and work with. I mean, and it just, I can see so much with of the young people getting involved and growing, growing their information that way. But that was, I'm just seeing the ideas, and that would would be nice if we could get something like that going.
Thank you for waiting. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No,
I might be a good test because I moved here a year ago in July. And I have no clue what that Salem connection that Annie talked about. I have looked online for a central place to find out about what's happening in Salem. I don't know where that is. Even when I was trying to find Center 50 Plus initially, I couldn't find them. I moved to Cradle Creek during COVID, so that was part of it too, right? So there was isolation, but as a newbie to Salem, and I still feel fairly new here, I don't know how to access city information. Other than if I had the time, and I'm still working full time, to go to a city council meeting or to do some of those things. I don't know. So, because you worked for the city for a long time, but I don't. And so my information comes from the word of mouth. And I'm fairly savvy on the computer. I'm not, it's not like I don't use one for a lot of what I do. So.
and I will go, I too knew nothing about it. And it's hard for me to know what's going on. So except when I come here, I know a whole bunch, but that's, I did not.
I go to the library and I read what's posted on bulletin boards.
Yeah.
I try to read some of the central bulletin board kinds of things because I'm visual. And
This is really good to me. I appreciate this because you guys are making the connection that I started panicking when we were talking here, and I was realizing how much we're relying on the physical space to connect you guys to things, and you've just confirmed it, which is fine. I'm panicking. But I'm just gonna say out loud. Annie's talking about an e-newsletter that we put out every week, every Friday, and it's called the Salem Community Connection. And I will send Marilyn a list of all the different ways you can connect with us. We actually have a cool little, have you seen that with the umbrella, the red umbrella? We have this connect with us little half sheet that gives you all the different things. But even then, it's still a lot, right? So there are many, many ways, and there is no one way, which again, what we heard was everybody's listening word of mouth, and so we were trying to be all things to all people, but that might not be the best solution. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? What we started talking about here was some of the things where we're kind of missing a little bit. We talked about raising awareness around the e-newsletter, which thanks to Annie, we've just done. But then we also heard that even the e-newsletter sometimes is teasing topics that aren't buttressed in the content, aren't found easily. We talked about how we're not providing as many services and programs as we once did, and that's totally legitimate, and we can prove it.
Yeah.
So you're right. We're not providing as much as we once did. To all ages, and so more people have to leave to go find what they're looking for. Some feedback about the website that first of all, it's not as one click as it should be, and even finding the agenda for today is like 4 or 5 for me, and I know how to find it. That we don't have a lot of newsy news on the website, even if you wanted it, and you still have to rely on who you know to get information. Yeah. We talked about how that whole premise that the website's the primary communications tool, I heard myself say this last week or the week before, is probably a little faulty if we have folks who don't have access to technology. We talked about how we should probably structure the plan so that we're looking at how we engage with people who already are engaged and look differently at how we engage those who aren't connected yet. We talked about how even when you are connected at Center 50 Plus, you're connected maybe in 3 ways, and 2 of them don't often work, and sometimes one of them isn't available to you. We talked about maybe improving technology by better connecting with high schools, bring those smart kids in. My own smart kids help my mom all the time, and they help me too, but. We also talked about how so much of what you learn is about the place that you connect, the physical space, like the library or Center 50 plus. And then that's the library. So anything else that you guys want to notice specifically about what we're missing, where we might be missing things, or what we might be struggling to accomplish?
This actually goes on the plus page.
Okay, you can have one.
When you get to college, somebody will pick up the phone.
Yes,
That's important, both here at the center and at City Hall, that you don't get a recording that's trying to be smarter than a person.
Who are you calling? And that's also something I should mention, but yeah.
I probably call the city manager's office because.
You know.
Like you said, I call somebody I know.
I have a comment, Alan Scott.
Go for it, Alan.
Oh, was that an okay to go ahead?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I've missed some of the meeting with the chainsaw noise here and all of that. But I kind of wanted to I did hear Linda, I believe, say something about emails. And I wonder if the center couldn't be a little more insistent when we have people fill out their forms, that they give us their emails. It's a benefit to them. It's a benefit to the center. We're able to communicate relatively inexpensively. And I know I've been getting more emails from the center the last couple of months, and there's some things I didn't know was going on. And I've made use of that information. And I know some people say, oh, I get too many emails. Well, they don't have to open it. They can delete it. They can unsubscribe, that sort of thing. But I think we could take more advantage of email conversations than we are. That's it. Thank you.
you really can't make anybody give their email information out. You can ask them to, but if they don't want to, they don't have to, right? You know.
Yeah, but Alan also makes a point that it's more effective and it's sometimes faster.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Is there anything that's going, are you trying to say something?
Well, I just thought I would add to the central place. I like what I get feedback on is that they want one spot where they know everything's happening, whether it's Travel Salem, City of Salem, community events. They feel like there's like, when I give them 3 or 4 locations, they always give me feedback. Don't you have one spot where I can learn everything that's happening? And I don't know if that really exists.
That's what I've been looking for, frankly. So I had my grandson visiting and I was like, it was the holidays. I thought, what all could I do? What's all available to me in Salem that I could take a 3-year-old to? And I happened to be driving by the river front. And so we went to the lights, but there was no, I wanted a one central location. And I'm like Annie, I get a little impatient after looking around for a while. So
We need a calendar of events that everyone, because I hear that, there's things that happen. Well, I didn't know that. I was looking at the calendar, looking for the calendar of events. And that was probably the most requested. So if we could have everything, how do you do that? You can't move that too much. That's what's.
Isn't that a beautiful thing?
Yes, yes.
It's great that we can't all know, but
Yeah.
we like to. So we'll try to find a way to get there. Anything else you guys want to mention just about things where we might not be missing connections? We did talk about technology. That was a follow-up, but you guys took care of it, so we don't have to go there. Anything else you want to notice about what we could be?
So a comment about the website.
Yes, please.
As the city looked at adding a chat feature, that's getting more and more common on websites. For example, I may know what I'm looking for, but I don't know the city terminology. So when I get on and I look around, I don't necessarily find what I'm looking for, but if there was a chat option where I could describe what I'm looking for and someone would respond, oh, that's Department XYZ, then I at least know where to go look. Or maybe they respond with a link to click on to go directly to it or something like that.
That's a great idea, thank you. I forgot to pay attention to time, darn it. So I'm a little bit over, but the next set of questions is about where you might see opportunities for us to make progress. We've kind of slid, I love how these questions sort of slide you into the next thing. They're really leading, and that was good. I'll take any other ideas. So this next thing is about whether you think we could be making more progress and what might be some of the challenges to making that progress. Can I say something, Courtney? Of course, that's why you're here. I've just been listening to folks who get the community connections and who are really enjoying that. And I'm one of the people who knew about it until I was a city councilor. And now I have it a lot of it. And it does have those calendar events and it has all those things, and it's every week, so it's very fresh and up to date. But I'm also hearing that people sometimes have access with technology, and I wonder if some of these spaces that we go to, like center or the library, maybe every week they get hard copies that folks can actually access and take home with them. I know printing is maybe something we want to try to get away from, but we're also in a transition time from folks who don't always have access or the skills, and by kids who don't understand how to copy things. So we're going to have to play that little game in that transition. But I wonder if that would be helpful for people to have a hard copy at those places that have proven to be spaces that are where folks go for info. Yeah, the connectories. Yeah, putting that stuff in that. Sorry, Bonnie.
What about a connection of a board, an electronic board that would, I mean, you could put a whole lot and the information would be up there scrolling. See, you know, just something to, you know, something people might enjoy just looking at. Oh, so that.
Other ideas?
I don't know if this is feasible or not, but it might be good, because I know there's a computer downstairs, probably more than one. If, as you came in, there it's scrolled like the, I don't know, the program guide or what's happening in the city, or here's what's coming. So people don't, they could walk right up to it without having to figure out which buttons to push and maybe it's down there and I don't know.
We actually have two electronic boards, one in the cafe and one in the lobby. They're on events all the time.
Okay.
What's happening in the room.
I don't know, there's so many.
Yeah, that's the board. Because of the white rim hat. Right, understand. I see you. And some of our seniors not able to get on our website or have access to computers.
What about correspondence person with our television stations and for more monthly, weekly, maybe a connection whenever they make an announcement or outside of Portland events. Go to the Salem Community Connection newsletter, find us on our radio station or Salem's coming events. So pressure on our television station. And I don't know if we have a correspondence person from the city of Salem from the that directly connects with them, but maybe again running into the problems with that. Do we have personnel to correspond with the television station?
It's a great question. This is two of the board member right now. communications team for the city. So we meet 1 week with the Statesman and 1 week with the Salem Reporter, and we do that every other week, just on that cadence. We're in the news. They ask us questions. We haven't been able to crack the Portland media market. They love coming down when there is something that's controversial.
Oh, yeah.
But we have not, like, our good news, the Winter Hall opening tomorrow. We're having a big event for the Navigation Center, which is going to be a transitional housing for folks with no barrier. We're having a hard time getting their interest in that event. And last week we celebrated a new partnership, a resurging partnership post-COVID, which is Albertina Kerr. It's Project Search. It's adults who are transitioning into the workforce who might have some developmental delays. And we are an internship site. We couldn't get any Portland media for that either. And that's a Portland company. So it, you know, it's really a hard nut to crack, but we can certainly keep trying. It's a good idea. Sorry, Annie.
The other thing about the newspapers, they tend to print after the event, which is a little late to participate.
Yeah.
And I'm not faulting you guys, because I'm sure you're telling them about upcoming events, but once it's in the paper and it happened the day before,
Yes.
not good.
Yeah. Can I ask how you all get your news?
Mine is a lot from the internet.
Like social media?
Social media. Television, definitely I get my news from television. So I try and get the national news at least once a day, stay away from the local. But I'm surprised that I think if there was more of, if regular citizens call the stations up in Portland and say, hey, what's wrong? We're doing a lot of good stuff. Why aren't you covering us? Believe me, they'll come. But you just need more people that are the squeaky wheel. They will pay attention. But it's like a phone-in campaign. I've tried to get Channel 12 to come out, and you know how it was a big deal when somebody in the community does well. I thought Center 50 Plus would be perfect for that, and I never get a response. I've done it a couple of times, trying to get something from them, like a check or food donation or whatever. Never get a response. The surprise score. Yeah, the surprise score.
So, Councilor Stapleton asked, we've heard TV and social media, yes?
I subscribe to the Statesman and to Salem Reporter, because for me, it's a commitment to keeping local news alive in Salem. And, you know, it's great to see what's going on in Portland, but I sure do appreciate knowing what's going on in Salem.
You know, so you're doing that.
Right, and the other thing, I have to give the Portland channels a boost in terms of, used to be, there was never any in Salem. It was at the Capitol today. And Salem didn't exist, it was just at the Capitol. So now we know, okay, and now let's update what's going on in Salem. But it's the Capitol.
Yeah. Are there input on where you guys get your news?
Radio and
Radio?
I'm not a big Facebook person, but I get like the Marion County Sheriff's. And there are a couple of places that I do subscribe to groups.
Is Center 50 Plus one of them?
Center 50 Plus is one of them, and don't you notice that I like stuff?
Yes, I do. Right here with the Marion County Sheriff's.
But also, I'm just subscribed, so I'm now part of the Salem Community Connection. Well, and the alert system, I mean, that's an avenue, but it also goes on the other side where we need to get that out to people. how to do that. So when there is a situation where the city is trying to communicate quickly, people are signed up with their email, with their text.
So you're talking about the community alert system.
Yes.
We also have, Flash Alert, which is, our press releases direct to anyone who subscribes, mostly media, but Flash Alert is also a way that you can get stuff hot.
Well, and that would be good for people to learn how to do that. If I don't have Flash Alert.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and sometimes it's annoying, just so you know.
okay. The other piece is when you get it on
Mhm.
the website and you've given information about how to use it, don't change it in 30 days.
Okay,
Which is exactly what businesses, Facebook, all of those, the process changes and you may have to be thoughtful about which areas you do that, because my interaction with folks that are of younger generations is if it stays the same all the time, it's not relevant. But if you change it all the time, then we don't know how to get to it. We know where it was last week.
Yeah.
But now it's not there.
okay. Any other input on this topic?
Yeah, is there the old fashioned welcome wagon
Yeah,
in communities? I think, do you have one?
no, I tried, but
No, I'm not saying to do it that way, right? I mean, I've moved a lot in my life, so, and I've always accessed a welcome wagon kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I just, if there was some easy to access new Salem, here's all your contacts. You know, the city council meets here, these events get here, it's subscribed immediately with Community Connection newsletter.
Yeah.
You can access the Statesman online or whatever. Yeah. And giving that kind of information to realtors. So when realtors can give it to the clients as they're selling homes or helping them find rental houses.
yes, I have tried and I'm doing.
And the neighborhoods like that too.
Yeah.
Is Who to Call still on the front page of the website?
Who to call? So we do, with the who to call list is still maintained and it still goes out to anybody in a neighborhood association. We should probably make that more accessible. But we changed the format in this new website. So our website was just launched in June of last year, the new one. And I can't remember if it's how do I over. No, it's not. That's what
I want to.
I want to. It's I want to, and it's over on this side of the page, on the right-hand side of the page. And that's designed to be written in an accessible sort of sixth grade, trying not to be fancy city speak. And so you should be able to use that as a good way to navigate. So maybe, but the who to call list is still being printed and it still is out in all the neighborhoods and we should elevate it.
Okay. That's just front back tells you for new people especially, but for everybody. And it's indexed by issue. So garbage service tells you who to call. How much time you need. That's your.
Yeah, I think we're almost finished. If it's okay, are there any last things? Anybody online have another comment or to share? Any topic, you don't have to follow anything else as you're thinking about communications and engagement. Last things, yeah.
I just want to point out, this is really valuable to see everyone's thoughts, and as you guys can all see, we all receive information in different ways, and I appreciate, Counselor, that you mentioned there's a handful of folks who don't know how to access the information online. That's the world we live in here, with an entire connection center that people can come one-on-one and talk to people. And then we do have a great group that's able to access. So I think being able to have enough options for both of those worlds, it's just really important. Because we kind of covered the whole board there with different ways we all receive information.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I feel like we should mention that we have our Northwest City Plus magazine for seniors. That's pretty close to the, to us here, so we're just mixing it on the board up there. And
Can you call it in what it's called?
Northwest 50th Farm.
Thank you.
And that's in the groceries and whatnot. In Maryland, this is why is your.
Like to say something?
Please.
I want to follow up on what Alan Scott said. I would love to receive an email every Monday highlighting 2 or 3 activities or events that are sponsored by Center 50 Plus or at Center 50 Plus. And on a regular basis, get that. I don't know how many other people are as email oriented as I am, but that would just alert me to what's coming up in the near future. And I could be looking forward to it every week, getting something. I would enjoy that. I don't know how long our email list is currently, but it'd be great if we could cultivate that and allow people to receive something regularly.
Just on a side note, Dr. Haber, I will look because you should be on that every other week already. So I'm not sure why you're not getting those. So let's see what we did wrong.
Well, is that, I thought that was to board, is that to everybody? Is that you sending that out to everyone on your mailing list?
Yeah, we have one called, I don't know if it's called Connect To, but it comes out every other week and it does just a little highlight of a special event. But we found that new old list isn't as current as it should be. So I will make sure you get on there correctly. I feeling this new commission during COVID may not have been fully plugged in like it should have.
How many people does it go out to?
About 1,500.
Well,
So
that's what it,
not a huge group.
well, that's pretty large. That's what I was asking for. So
Yeah.
cancel what I just said.
But no, but you know what?
No, don't cancel it. I don't do it either.
The point is we have 9,800 patrons.
Yeah.
And only 1,500 have subscribed or are on our email letter list. So there's a gap there.
The Friends Board is working on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to say thank you for taking the time to share all of your ideas with us. And I want to also just mention that to Annie's point about having some place to call when you can't find what you're looking for. You may not know this, but the city does not have one place to call. We are building, just finishing, I think by June, we're going to open something called the Customer Service Center. It will be at the Civic Center building, and it's going to be in a big open space. It'll feel like you're walking into a bank, except you won't be worried about money. And you can walk in and you'll be waiting in line, and there will be 6 or 8 open windows, and people are going to be there ready to help with questions, to pay your bills. You have one place instead of trying to find something inside the Civic Center, which is, in my opinion, sometimes worse than the website feedback we've heard today. We find lost souls walking around the Civic Center all the time. So we're trying to place everything in one place. And that also means that there's a phone number now too. So you can call the one place. You can call it. You can also email info@, and that no longer goes to me. It goes to 8 different people who can work on your issue and your problem right away. Info@cityofsalem.net is the customer service center. And I feel like I can tell you the phone number if I just look really quick.
588-7272.
I wanted to say that I just but I didn't confident. Thank you. So that number is working now. The people are all cross-training and learning everything so that they know how to do anything we want. And the email address is active now. And then the space opens, I think it's June. So you can come down and look at it, period, if you want. But that's for real. And that's really exciting for us to have, to put everything in one place. Yeah.
Based on a phone number, hopefully they will, as they transfer you, stay on the line with you to be sure they've transferred you to the right place. Because
Yes.
that used to be a huge frustration for people. And then when they got to the wrong place, that person didn't know how to get them to the right place.
And they would, and the other thing I want to notice about the customer service center is sometimes, and to combat this problem, sometimes our folks are working remotely, or they might be out in the field. And we have little conference rooms with a computer terminal, so we can patch that person in and you can talk to them in that moment too. So I think it's a really great way to try to be more useful and friendly in the moment. So that's really cool. There's a whole bunch of other things happening at the city, and I'll send you, Marilyn, a list of the upcoming things, including the city's budget process gets going. I think it's Wednesday, April 19th. And so you can follow along on those. You don't have to watch them in the moment, and you don't have to come in. If you want to do that later, we push everything to YouTube. So there's always this meeting too. There's always stuff on YouTube. If you just search for City of Salem, you can find any number of meetings that have taken place.
And you'll
And
send
make
us
sure you put
the
what
umbrella,
Yeah.
the action. I really appreciate the information because there's a lot of times people, they know I'm associated with the 50 plus and they've got questions about the city.
Right.
And I go, you can, and it's nice to say, well, I don't know, but at least we have a number.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
So I have a question for you. You've got 4 pages up there. What happens to them now?
So what's happening now is we, as I mentioned, we're doing the bigger communications plan. And so this video, hi Greg, is Greg is going to get this video and add it to the collection of input that they've gotten. We are expecting to be done with a whole bunch of recommendations for how to be better. We're expecting that in June-ish. So we'll have a report out in June. And I myself have a question about what kind of roadshow we're going to do after we have all these findings, because I suspect, I don't know, but I suspect it's going to be a really big lift to get to from where we are to match people's expectations. And I think that's going to take a while for us to get there. I think it's going to mean probably more people helping with this engagement and communications quest. I think it's probably going to need more tools, and all of those things take funding that we don't have today. So I think what we're going to get is a whole bunch of great ideas, and we're going to make a plan for probably 2 or 3 years that I think it might take to get to where we want to be. So it's not going to be overnight. We don't do anything overnight. We're like a big ginormous cruise ship, right? You can't turn super fast because there's so many things that are interconnected and relying on each other, but we can make some improvements, and it just might take a little bit of time to get everything in the right place. So to answer your question, all of this and this recording will go to Greg at Territory. They're our company that's helping us with all of this. And by June, I expect in the month of June, we will have a pretty concrete plan and probably a series of steps for how we're going to achieve it.
Thank you for pursuing this.
Thank you for being.
And those are only the things come out of it. Okay, every year. Our executive director gives an annual report, and that's what's up next.
Yes, so we talked about this last month and everybody gave me comments. Some went right in, some were added later, but here is the final copy ready to go to council. We need an approval so we can launch it and get it ready to go the last Monday of the month. This is an approved document. This is a draft.
will we be able to?
And I can resend it again. This is the edited, revised one that people weighed in and gave me comments on. So thank you to everyone that red penciled and helped, and we are ready for Ron to present to council in April at the end of the month.
Okay.
Are you up, Ron? 24th?
Not the next week, it's not on vacation.
24th, the date we had kind of pushed it out to. So we just need to, the edits made it, we did some revisions, we reduced the objectives, shortened the objectives, although that does not match the total objectives that you have in your strategic plan, but we chose the top 6 and left them in there, so it's not as much to read. We modified, let's see. Well, we just had some things that people picked up on that the information didn't make a lot of sense on. How we spoke to our participants. We did a summary of who comes to the center. And again, this is for 2022. And so we know next year's report will look a little differently because we'll have a survey under our belts, a patron survey, and a few things that will give us a new snapshot of who's coming to the center.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? No. Okay, we'll proceed then next with an information report.
So what we need on this one is a final approval of this draft. So that.
Sorry about that.
So we just need a final on this so we can add it to the council.
Okay,
I make a motion.
I have a question.
I make a motion and support.
Motion, fine.
Center 50 Plus 2022 annual report for Maryland to file that and forward it to the.
Thank you for said motion. A second, please.
I'll second it.
And then the seconds. Okay. All in favor, please raise your hand. And okay, everybody in digital. Okay, and any opposition? No. Okay, unanimously approved. Thank you very much, Marilyn. Oh, we'll move on. We will. Partner report.
So Northwest Senior and Disability Services will report next month. We've moved them out to make room for the listening session and also to accommodate Julie Litkey's schedule. So if we can move that to the next agenda.
All right, that would be this director's report.
All right, well, I kept it, we all, here is the report for this month, and I have all of my staff here, so I'm gonna let you present today, your own reports, since you're here. And I'm gonna start with, Heidi Wold Miller, please. As she's coming up front, I'm just gonna take a quick moment and then get us, so that you have things on your calendar. Our age-friendly communication team meeting is April 11th at 9 a.m. We have it set up. It can be in person or I can also accommodate at Zoom. It's a small group. If you signed up to be on the age-friendly communication team, it's April 11th, 9 a.m. here at Center 50 Plus. And this is a conversation about the tools we're using here at the center currently in terms of our print materials. We're going to take a look at our newspaper, our program guide, and a few things like that. As a small committee, we want to talk about language and content and distribution and a few things like that. So that's the first agenda item for the communication team, April 11th. Heidi, go right up front. Okay. This is Heidi Miller and she is our outreach coordinator.
So the meeting you just said now, it's every month through 2023, is that it?
That is correct.
Okay, just want to be sure.
Yeah, second Tuesdays.
Hi, everyone. Great to be in the same room with you all. Anyway, we just wanted to make a brief announcement, looking back at March. The Friendship Brigade and Canaan Tour kicked off their spring summer program recruitment. It was really exciting. We ended up having 4 different sessions, none virtual, which kind of tells us that people are feeling a little more comfortable coming out. We had about 18 folks who went through the training and who are now going through the second tier of background checks with the state so that they can go into facilities. And that means community care and nursing environments. And let's see, yesterday was the mask mandate came down. So now our facility partners, as long as they don't have COVID in-house and our county levels aren't spiking, volunteers, as well as residents can be masters if they choose. And if they choose. So we're following the direction of the facilities themselves. And of course, any of our volunteers, if they feel like they need to be masked, like Annie, that's just fine. So we're really excited. This is returning back to that very intentional intervention, addressing the issues of isolation and loneliness, especially in our community care nursing environment. So we're really excited about that. April is crazy. April, we're ramping up for the warmer weather, and we've got so many great ideas and so many great programs going on. So we've got our partnership with Catholic Community Services. That's our Generations Camp engine. Last year, we had all sorts of programming in Cornerstone, which is just up the street. That's an affordable living community owned by Catholic Community Services, Highland Station, and another community, and then Mill Creek Meadows off of 25th and State. And our village model, we actually planted a senior village in the Mill Creek area, and that's been a lot of fun. We've had several national nights out. We've had work parties and cleanups and wonderful outreach into that neighborhood. We'll be continuing that again. In the 2 Highland Station and Cornerstone, we're putting our gardening gloves on, and we're helping them with the community gardens this year. And those are really fun. It's fun to see us creating another way of connecting neighborhood to neighborhood by using the gardens as a place to do offer programming and to engage people who are already doing that thing about building community. And with our WOW Bear this year, we're going to be going out and doing our GIS tracking again. And one of our goals is to make sure that when we go out, we're highlighting opportunities of neighbors connecting with neighbors, seniors, intergenerational programming. And I'm looking for the stories that say, we know how to do this, so that we can show and give strong examples of what it means to be good neighbors, what it means to be age-friendly, and what it means to be connected and feeling secure and supported as we're aging in place. So those are the big ideas of the summit. We have volunteer groups who are participating in Music Day coming up on the first day of summer. We have volunteer groups who are looking forward to National Night Out, the first Tuesday in August. And we have upcoming the Center 50 Plus Villages Network is doing their online forum. The next 2 are focused on solo aging. So anyone can take advantage of that. They just need to let us know, and we'll send them the link. And that's a great topic for the Villages Network. And finally, our partnership with Willamette, the center meeting with our Willamette students on their archive project, so that's gonna be fantastic. And let's see, we have, our Villages Network Service Day this month is scheduled in West Salem, so seniors who just need a little extra help with a project, 1 to 2 volunteers, 1 to 2 hours. They can sign up for that support, and we'll send it to notices.
Any questions for Heidi? Lots going on. It's our gear up time, spring, summer. Wellness on Wheels, outreach services, neighborhood services. So, thank you, Heidi. When Simone comes up, she has a report. She's going to talk about our health and wellness program. While she's getting set up up front, we had our Cup of Joe. Thank you to those that came to the Cup of Joe, our Sustainers program at breakfast. We had it last Friday as a reschedule from the month before where we had snow. And could you believe it? The night before, the 24th of March, I get a weather alert that there could be snow again. I'm like, are you kidding? But I said the tablecloths and the donuts have arrived. We must go on. So, and we made over $20,000 in our campus this year. 15. I'm really good. It would be, normally we get between 3,000 and 5,000. But this year we received a large gift for the endowment, 2 large gifts, a 10,000 and a 5,000. And we grew our Sustainers program by about, a couple of dozen more. So we're up over 100 monthly givers willing to give up 1 cup of coffee a month for Center 50 plus. So it was very good. Good results, and we were really excited about that. And it was a nice event for our first one since 2019. So we were glad to do it.
That's awesome. Well, really quickly, I'm just going to give you an overview of where our health and wellness center is at. As you might remember, we actually were originally built to have about 300 members, and I'm excited to tell you that now we have 480. Which is, yeah. Either people are really getting healthy or we're just putting our name down. I don't know. Either way, which is really why we've kept our reservation system. So to work out in the fitness center from 8 to 2, just those hours only, we do require a reservation. And we're going to kind of hold on to that for a while, I think, because we want people to be able to use the equipment that they want to use. So I'm excited about that. Classes are going wonderful. In fact, I had to bring more chairs down for our Silver Sneakers yoga class, and we need more chairs now. So it's exciting to see the classes that we've had now growing, but also seeing what we're going to bring in the future. So one of my Zumba Flex and Fab instructors, you may know her, she's wonderful. She has actually decided to pursue on her own doing a mobility class. So she finishes up her certification at the end of this month, and we will be able to offer a flexibility and mobility class at some point. We haven't figured out where we're going to stick that in our schedule, but always nice to be able to offer new things. Speaking of new, we had a new contractor start with us, our foot care program, and we were able to fill the 2 days that she was here in March completely full and wonderful reviews. So we're excited to have her here, and we've been encouraged that our business will grow in that direction. I'm also excited that I will be having an intern start with us here this month from Western Oregon's gerontology program. That's exciting. We haven't decided quite what we're going to do, but there's a lot of ideas floating around. So you'll hear about those next month. We will be posting a job here in the next few weeks. As we are growing, our classes are filling, our membership's growing. It is time to get some more help in to help me at the front desk, but also to offer new classes, maybe another personal trainer, as our trainer actually has more clients than she can handle one person. So exciting news there. Some of the programs we have going on, our Healthy Living Lecture, the next one that's coming up is April 20th. Our holistic approach to pain management. So be sure to get your name on that list. It is a short list. We have a few spots left. We'd love for you to be there. Another program that we've been working with David Haber on, it was the Promoting Healthy Aging Roundtable discussion. And we've been kind of taking names for that class because when you have a roundtable, you need to be able to fill your table. And so we wanted to see how many folks we had
Well, they are going to be doing a class, and we were able to bring 4 people over there. We didn't have enough folks to do it here. So we had 4 folks go over to South Salem Senior Center to do the class over there. So we've got a big 12-person roundtable now. So that's exciting to be able to incorporate different senior centers, different folks in the community. And we do, hopefully we'll be able to have enough folks to do our own promoting healthy aging class here in June. But yeah, that's just kind of what we're doing. Any questions, let me know.
Any questions of Kanoy? I was just gonna, on Facebook, she threw up a question. Adventure Club is starting back up. And she asked, where do you want to go? And she got a lot of traction from people weighing in and having opinions on where the Adventure Club.
Yeah, you
Should be
might
going
not
this
see me a
summer.
lot from May to June, July, and August, because there are a lot of adventures to go on. But I appreciate the input.
So the things that are coming up, we have the Spring Chick Women's Conference that is back. And I looked at the list this morning and it's already selling tickets. People are pretty excited to have that event back. That's a half-day conference here at Center 50 Plus. Breakout sessions, and it's going to be on, financial, beauty, relationships, a variety of topics. I sent out the flyer to everyone. It's the one with the little birdie, the chickie. Feel free to send that out. It is on my next week's mailing for the e-letter. So feel free to forward that on to folks. Friends have set their annual meeting for 6/9, June 9th in the afternoon. So mark your calendars for that. And we have set our date for the Boot Scoot and Brew. That is September 8th. And we have booked Rock and Roll Cowboys as the highlighted band for this year. So a couple of things to get on your calendar. We were looking at our attendance, just kind of to give you if you have your annual report, we were in the 167 and then 250, and we were kind of moving in this. But pre-COVID, we used to get between 850 and 1,000 people a day. And we haven't seen that for quite a while. But we had 2 days the last 2 Thursdays where we were at 650 a day. So we are definitely moving in the right direction in terms of attendance coming back, classes are going, our numbers are, as we're kind of looking, are we in that recovery mode? I really believe we're moving in the right direction and we're starting to see the attendance in this building. But I have to always add that our numbers actually didn't really dip that much during the last couple of years because we replaced the inside building stuff with our outreach services. So while we were addressing isolation and loneliness, our numbers in the building, of course, were down because, for 8 of those months, the doors were closed here. We replaced it with those outreach services. So attendance is much higher than it was pre-COVID because we have now discovered a whole group of people that we were not serving in the community prior. People that are isolated and have mobility issues that will probably keep them from coming to Portland Road forever. It's just not going to work into their current needs. And so our outreach services, you'll continually hear the numbers going up in that area because we're continually finding people in their neighborhoods, in their space where they're living, accessing our programs, activities, and services. Truly building on the idea of being a center without walls.
How many people did we have this weekend with the wood carvers?
On Saturday, we had about 400.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had over 250 at the wood carver show on Saturday. Probably only maybe 100 people total on Sunday. But Saturday was awesome. We had jam session upstairs, lapidary open and full, wood shop open and full, a dozen people up in the fitness center, and the pool hall having a tournament, and we had a wood carver show. So it was hopping. Yeah, we were hopping all day Saturday. Sunday, a little quieter, but usual. Any questions kind of about attendance, what we're seeing? Any concerns, things you've seen in the lobby, anything in the building that you want to talk about while we're together? Okay. Next month, our friend from Hawaii, Miss Bonnie Kadich, will report on lifelong learning. She just got back on the red eye last night. Oh, wow, she's here. So we'll address what's happening in the lifelong learning. We have some really great new classes, history, relationship, gardening, lots of really cool things, even balloon art. Only at Center 50 Plus do you learn how to make balloon animals. So but we're excited. So take a look at our program guide. Our new spring program guide is up online. So take a peek at that. And I do want to say, please stop by the Connection Center Monday through Thursday afternoons and meet David Tomasowicz. David comes from us. We stole him from the library. And he has joined our staff assistant crew here, and he is what we call a technology wizard. He has really helping us work on making things live links in our program guides. He's helping with our QR codes. He's running the point of sale system. He's a great researcher. So swing by and meet David. He's here part-time, gives us that support in the Connection Center. And then starting this upcoming Monday, we have Jasmine. We're very excited. Jasmine is bilingual. So we will now have both Spanish and Russian speakers in our building that are able to support us through the customer service center and our Connection Center. Swing by and get to know Jasmine. Jasmine comes with huge background in reception. She was a scheduler for the hospital down in Corvallis. And so she has this, she's a medical translator. So she's just really comes with this great communication background. And so we're excited for those two folks to join our team. So swing by, get to know them. They're going to be here. They're part of our part-time staff, but I know they're going to really fill out some of the gaps we've been experiencing. These positions are not new. You can think about past staff. They were Denise and Karen, okay. Our volunteer assistant and our special event assistant. During COVID, they retired and I opted not to fill their positions as a cost savings and to help us regroup. Now we can't. We're so busy. We have to have those folks and that helps. So that's what you're going to see here in the center.
What days are they working?
They work 5 days a week.
But just not as many hours.
Yeah, one is in the morning and one is in the afternoon.
And is David then have time at IT as well?
No, he was at the library.
Library.
Yeah, no, he is now with us.
Okay.
Yeah. But I got it. He just finished putting in the forms yesterday. So as far as online, the spring program guide should be up this afternoon. The print ones all done. We had that a little bit, but the ones. So if they go right now, they won't see that. It will be this afternoon. One of the assignments David is going to be helping us with, and some of the feedback we get is, why is our thing not on the community calendar? And that requires some staff support to get things on the community calendar for the city of Salem. David will be that person, and he will just keep putting things in that calendar, and he's going to just keep it going.
So that calendar, is it on the front page of City of Salem one? So
You have to scroll a bit. It's below the scroll, but
okay,
it is there.
on the right hand side, left hand side,
Right on back in the middle.
middle, got it.
And it looks like a calendar too. We got feedback one time that it didn't look like a calendar, so people didn't know to put there. So it looks like the traditional wall hanging calendar, and there are links embedded in each day.
We also have a special events page now, and on there,
you'll see our special events for the center
Okay.
hitting through as
It's
well.
funny, Center 50 Plus has a page and. city-
And on, when you pull up our page, that little calendar just kind of stays on it, so.
Okay.
And that's all I have today, and that we can wrap up. Thank you so much.
Can I ask you a question? When are we gonna talk about the transportation?
The transportation special committee is April 25th at 9 a.m.
First Tuesdays monthly.
Yeah, it's the fourth Tuesday monthly.
Okay.
Thank you for your reports, Marilyn. At this point, we have the Friends fundraising on the agenda, but Karen did not join us this morning, so we'll wait on that one unless nobody else.
Don't have the updates. We have the job. We already reported.
I'd like to thank you all for taking times out of your busy schedule to join us at this meeting today. Our next meeting will be the first Tuesday of May 2nd. I'd like to hear a motion to end today's meeting, please.
Makes them.
Thank you, Linda. And second?
I'll second.
And one last thing. Thank you so much for the city staff that joined us at the meeting today. It enhanced our abilities significantly. And particularly about the time taken on the communications plan. I hope good things will happen for that. I'm sure it will. Thank you again for the city staff. We are enjoying.
Are you keeping minutes? We can keep them. You're keeping. Yeah.